All right. So find your way to a comfortable seat. Um, Drop in. Okay, so feel the groundedness, the sense of steadiness that you can just obtain by the simple act of feeling your body drop toward the earth. So notice what you're sensing below your sit bones or your thighs or your feet, whatever's touching, and just have a moment to give your weight into that. And often, when we get a little too heavy, we can feel like a slump. So, always seeking the balancing act of these two oppositional forces of the vayus, the downward energy and the upward energy. And like melding colors, let's see if these oppositional energies of feeling the down and the up can be something that melds instead of living in a push pull or opposition. And when you settle into that, breathe into that. Let your breath infuse the full sensation of your body. Allow your shoulders to soften a little bit if you tend to be a creeper up toward your ears. Let your diaphragm relax if you tend to be a garter of the diaphragm. Soften all the places in your face where you hold expression and tension. And our little kula here, even though we're on computers, let's sense that we're a community practicing together right now. Allow your breath to help you recede away from the chatter of the mind, bringing focus and attention of your mind into your breath. Ready, place your palms together and let's focus our intention inward. So offer yourself the loving kindness of an intention, something that you are opening yourself up to grow. Let's release the hands. Find your way onto your back. All right, so as we stretch out and lengthen on the ground, enjoy this beginning. We always begin, almost always begin on our back. So let it be a cue in your practice that you can suspend what came before, what's coming after. So just give yourself the opportunity to be present with self without expectations or judgments. And then maybe it would feel good to bring your arms overhead and lengthen. Feel that stretch through your shoulders, through your spine, maybe through your side bodies as you move a little bit, kind of lengthening left and right. Take a moment to draw our knees into our chest and check in with your back, especially if you feel a little vulnerable in your hips or your lumbar spine. Let's just have a moment to ease these places. Rock a little bit if it feels good. Be mindful to keep your head relaxed on the ground. Grab onto your knees with your hands and let's circle a little bit. Just feeling into the very gentle beginning of our practice where we get to just befriend and come home to self. Not much to do. Circle the other way. And just feel a sense of ease in your hip joints, in your pelvis, in your sacrum. And then let's hang on to the knees and open them away from the midline and bring them back toward. So just get this feeling of mobility in your hip joints. And this is a great diagnostic tool too. Just get a sense, how are your hip joints feeling today? Is the range of motion even left and right? Or do you have a little tension or tightness in one side that you're noticing? So good information to just pay attention to. Right knee into your chest, left leg long on the ground. Let's give a good squeeze of the knee. And let's roll around in the ankles. Wiggle your toes and feel the sense of freedom in your feet. Let's switch sides, left knee into your chest, right leg long on the ground. And let's go ahead and keep moving through those ankles and toes, wiggling your feet. Just feel the sense of ease across your skull. Relax your shoulders. Be mindful of that upper body. And then stretch to a star, reaching your limbs out wide, reaching into space, wiggling your fingers and toes like you're feeling how wide out there in space you can get with your body. And then draw your knees into your chest and pick your head up and let your back open up some. Let's do that once more. Inhale to find bigness, spreading your limbs wide. Exhale to find smallness, tucking into a little ball. Relax your head down onto the ground. Let's put our left foot down. Cross your right thigh over your left and draw your knees toward your chest. Feel free to have a little bit of movement in here. You don't have to be still. There can be a little rocking to begin. And then rest your shoulders and rest your head. Again, feeling that sense that you can not always have to be so hyper vigilant with your head and your shoulders. We tend to want to do everything with that part of our body. Let it take a bit of a back seat. And then we're going to lift the legs straight up in the air. Arms can be up in the air. Arms can be overhead, down at your sides, wherever you want to put them. Let's have a little flex point with the toes. While you're up here in space, start to engage your core, finding your breath. And then we're going to put the right foot on the ground, left thigh over right thigh, draw knees in. Again, stillness, moving, whatever feels nourishing. Drop the sit bones, widen them, feel your head get heavy. And then open up to a star one more time. Stretching your limbs out there into space. Exhale, knees into your chest. And let's take a roll to our side and come up onto your hands and your knees. As you find all fours, take your time, kind of get situated with your weight bearing. And then give a moment to just let your body yield so you can kind of drop into the right knee and the right hand, and then drop into the left knee and left hand, and just feel your contact with the ground, sense of connection. And then settle into even weight bearing through your four limbs and start to move through, excuse me, through some cat-cows where you're arching and rounding the spine, taking your time to move through your vertebrae. Full breath here. And then feel your way into some mobility in any range that you want to do. So you could wag your tail or circle through your pelvis or your shoulders or your ribs or your head. Just find freedom of movement. Again, we're just coming home into the body and warming all these soft tissues that live around our vertebrae, all the little muscles and tendons and ligaments. And when you're ready, stretch back towards child's pose. Walk the hands far out in front of you and feel that stretch and length in the shoulders. Feel the head drop and relax. Open up the breath into the back of the body. Walk the hands over to one side, feeling the weight drop down into your sit bones. The base of the skull is soft and at ease. And then walk your hands over to the other side and feel the weight. Base of the skull soft and relaxed. And then come back to center. Let's move the spine around, kind of be snake-like and swirly, whatever feels good in your body. Let's find a warming up twist, reaching the left arm up in the air. Exhale, take that arm underneath and twist deeply here. Gaze toward the floor, shoulders away from the ears. Finding the full breath. Now, and reach that arm back up in the air. Place the hand down onto the ground and switch sides. Arm lifting high. Exhale, slide that arm underneath. Gazing toward the ground, feeling the twist in your spine. Keep the breath moving through your body. If you're ready, lift that arm back up in the air. Hand comes down onto the ground. And we're going to come into puppy pose. So walk the hands forward, still on your knees, hips high, right over your knees. Drop your chest toward the ground. Maybe your head meets the floor. Maybe it doesn't. Just be where you are. Just opening up the thoracic spine. Full breaths here. And then come back to center. Bring your hands a little closer toward your knees. Curl your toes under and lift to dog pose. All right, as you lengthen upward and feel this first pose where really we're, off the ground, let's see what it feels like to pedal your feet, maybe knead your feet or your hands. So you're really welcoming and waking parts of your body. So there's no right or wrong way to kind of find your way into this pose. Some people like total stillness. Other people like a lot of movement. So let your body find its way the way it wants. If you are ready to be still, especially with that puppy pose, living still in your thoracic spine, let's notice if you tend to collapse and instead lift your sternum slightly into the body and up toward the pelvis. So that we're being sure that we're not kind of collapsing into our shoulder joints, especially if you tend to be mobile in your shoulders. Relax your neck, fill up your hands and ground them, fill up your feet and ground them. All right, then let's walk our feet forward and come to Uttanasana, holding. Relax your shoulders, melt your skull, maybe a little bit of movement. You're very close to your feet. Look at them. Go ahead and spread those toes wide. The knees can be as bent as you want. Inhale for a halfway lift. So we're straightening the legs now. You can hold the ground blocks or legs. And then exhale and melt and hold. Let's try that one more time. A halfway lift, extend. Exhale and release. Come all the way up to stand when you're ready. Press up, fold up, round up, what feels good in your body. And then once you get up there, just have a moment to just support this upward posture. Get yourself grounded on your feet. Find your breath one more time. Eyes can be opened, eyes can be closed. What's serving this moment? Okay, take a deep breath in. Reach the arms upward to the sky, open your chest, maybe lean back a little bit, maybe cactus your arms, just see what your body wants. And then we're gonna have a big swan dive forward and fold. A halfway lift, roll long. Exhale and drop in. Step your non-dominant foot back, dog pose. Feeling into that length again, feeling the openness, heart lifting to pelvis. On your next in-breath, come forward into a plank and let's find the sturdiness of your strength here. Ground into the earth with your hands. Engage through your core, wrap around your torso with your strength. Keep your neck neutral. Fill up your breath. When you're ready, bring your knees to the ground, find the earth, roll the shoulders a couple of times so you have that mobility. Inhale, cobra pose when you're ready, and then exhale and relax back down. Put your hands underneath your head for a moment, pick up your feet, and windshield wiper your knees, just get a little loose in your back. We're just gonna do a little twisting mobility here. So we're going to keep the left leg bent, straighten your right leg, and we're just gonna tip that foot and tap it on the ground behind you, come back. And now it's gonna give you, and then we're gonna switch sides. There's a few different ways you can do this with your arms. You can keep your hands down underneath your head, and don't worry about touching the ground with your foot. You can have your arms out to the sides, which will give you a stretch across your chest. That's the more traditional way of doing the pose. You can also have your arms down at your sides. Okay, so we're just going back and forth, lifting one foot, knee bent, picking that leg up, tapping the foot on the ground behind you, coming back, change legs. Lifting the other foot, knees bent, lift that whole leg up, tap the ground behind you, come back. Okay, so choose some arm positions that feel supportive and good. And we're just loosening up a little bit of range of motion in the spine. All right, and when you're done with that leg, we're gonna bring our arms out in front of us on the ground, wide like a V, and inhale and lift up through your spine. Reach your legs, keep your neck long, feel it opening across the front of your body. Exhale and relax. We're gonna roll over onto our right side, and we're going to do a quad stretch here. Okay, so you can always support underneath your head with a block or a blanket or just your arm, whichever feels good. Knees are bent. We're gonna grab onto the top of our left ankle and stretch that leg back. So we're lying on our right side, grab onto your left ankle. Feel that capacity to keep stable in your pelvis. So we're not overarching the back at all. Your whole thigh can draw back toward the wall behind you without losing the capacity to stabilize your core. And then we're gonna draw the knee toward the chest and round the spine a little bit. Give a half tuck knee into your chest and then relax and switch sides. So roll over to your other side. We're now on our left. We're gonna bend our knees. We're gonna grab onto our right ankle, the front of our ankle with our right hand. Stretch that knee back so you're coming into a quad stretch. You could always use a strap around your ankle if you can't reach your ankle. Stabilize your pelvis. So we're not letting the back kind of fall into an arch. We're not letting the floating ribs fall forward. We're integrating the core of our body. And then once you have that stability, your whole thigh can draw back toward the wall behind you. Keep your knee in line with your hips so you're not lifting it high. How's your neck? Is it taking any tension unnecessarily? Relax into that half tuck, one knee and draw it into your chest, pull your chin down toward it, and then relax. We're gonna straighten or come onto all fours rather. So go ahead and find your way off your side onto your hands and knees. And let's move through your spine a little wagging of a tail. Now let's get some strength built up in the back body for the back bends we're gonna do. Take your right leg straight back behind you, left arm out in front of you, thumb up, toes down. Integrate through your center body. Press your shin into the ground. Feel the work of your hips, the work of your core, and the work of the muscles along your spine. Take a deep breath in, and as you're ready, exhale and bring your elbow and knee to touch underneath. Inhale to bring it out long. Exhale. Coming underneath, feeling as stable as you can, keep pressing that shin into the ground. One last time, third time's a charm, elbow and knee coming into each other. Inhale, bringing it out. Place the hand and knee onto the ground. Switching sides. Bring that leg up in the air. So now our left leg is in the air, right arm out in front, toes down, thumb up. Integrate the center body. Feel your ribs draw in. Feel that strength of your glutes. We're pressing the shin and hand into the ground. Feel the strength of the back of your body. Take a deep breath in. As you're ready, exhale and draw your knee and elbow underneath you. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale. Draw it in. Breathing deep. Once you get out there in space, find that length and then place your hand and your knee down onto the ground. Rock your weight into your right, rock your weight into your left. Just back and forth until you feel a sense of evenness. Then find your way to dog pose again. Feeling that length in your body, reach upward, thighs lifting up and back. Spread open the bones of hands and feet. Breathe into your right leg, lift it up in the air. Let's stack open into that right hip. Feel it lift high toward the sky. You can bend your knee or straighten it, whatever feels good. And then we're gonna release and place that foot down onto the ground. Other side, left leg lifting up, hips square to begin, and then stack your left hip over the right. Bend your knee or straighten it. Try not to sink and fall into the right armpit. Feel the length in your body. Stretch your knee away from your navel. And square things up again. Feet onto the ground. Walk your feet forward. Come to Uttanasana. Holding deeply. Inhale for a halfway lift. Melt again. Rising all the way up. Arms coming to the sky. Feeling that length open up. And then bring your hands back down toward the ground. Let's open our shoulders just a little bit more. Interlace your hands behind you. Open up across your collarbones. Hug your shoulder blades toward each other. Lift your chin. And then when you're ready, fold forward. And your arms can be behind your back. Let them leave your spine wherever they go. Maybe they go over your head. Maybe they stay an inch away from your back. It just depends on your shoulders. Breathing deeply. And then release your arms down. Wag your tail, shimmy and shake your head and shoulders. Inhale for a halfway lift. Grow in length. Melt and fold. Let's step our left foot back, lunging. Feeling into this length you have here. Place your back knee down onto the ground. Uncurl your toes or leave them curled, whatever feels stable. You can lean forward with your hands on your blocks for a moment and just feel the crown and tail long. And then slowly we're going to rise up, feeling the support of our legs as we come into a modified crescent lunge with our knee down. So of course, if your knee's unhappy, you can lift it up, you can pat underneath it, whatever feels good. Try not to fall. So we're trying to open our hip flexors without sinking to the ground. Reach both arms up to the sky and feel that length. Let's grab onto the left wrist with the right hand and just a little bit of a lengthening here as you move a bit to the right, up and over to the right. Okay, and then we'll turn this into a twist. You can either take your left forearm on your right knee, left elbow to the outer knee, however deep into the twist you want to go. Drop your shoulders and spread open your collarbones. As you feel the length of that hip flexor, notice where is your support coming from? Are you falling and sinking? Can you press your front foot into the ground? Can you engage your core a little bit? All right, and relax and come down. We're going to take both hands on the inside edge of your foot.
You can turn your toe out a little bit. You can do a little rocking with your knee if you want. You can do teeny little push-ups if you want. You can bring yourself lower and put your elbows on the floor or on blocks, wherever your body wants to be in this posture. Balance your hips. Keep lifting that back femur bone, widen your sit bones, and feel the length in your spine. Great. And then we're going to release away from that deep hip flexor stretch and come into half Hanumasana. We're going to go back and forth here just once. So bending your knee to a lunge and back into half Hanumasana. Feel the release of your hip flexors of that back leg. Come upright if you can. And always you can modify. If you can't be on your shin, you can be doing this like we normally do, where we bend and straighten the front knee. For today, let's stack two blocks, one on top of the other on the right side of on the inside of your right leg. Bring your left hand on those blocks for some support. Reach the right arm up in the air and let's twist open to the right. Drop your shoulders. Let this be as much of a pec stretch as it is twisting and getting into the outer hip. Notice if your hips want to do weird things. Drop that right hip, feel even. And then come back to center, reaching that arm up, back into a lunge. Two hands on blocks now. Lift your back knee up off the ground. Root your feet well. Okay. Come on up, crescent lunge. Lifting the arms, opening up. Let's feel the extension of our spine, the ribs lifting. And when you feel ready, cactus open your heart so that you have the sense of a broadness across your chest. And then release your arms straight out to the sides. Readjust your spine so you're nice and neutral. And we're going to just twist to the right, arms straight out. Drop the shoulders. Now you can go a little deeper into this by taking your right hand on your left thigh and reaching your left arm up in the air, but that might be a lot, so you just be where you are. You can always put your hand on your hip to do this too. And then back to center, hands down, bring that foot back, dog pose. That was a lot of opening in the hip flexor of that left leg, so let's let it neutralize now. Breathe your way here. Okay, and then we're going to come onto your knees. And this time we'll bring the left foot in front. Coming into a lunge, back knee on the ground. All right, so feel your way into the full lunge here. Feel free to back off a moment and re-enter. Just kind of find your way into that stretch. Notice where your strength lies, so press into your front foot. And then let's climb up a little higher, maybe hands come on knees, maybe you keep your hands on blocks. And where again is your support system, so let's not sink into the pelvis or compress our back. Press your foot and knee into the ground, hug them toward each other, find your inner thighs, find your core. And then let's reach our arms up, feel that extension. Melt into your skull, the base of your skull, let your neck relax. Feel the grounding support of your legs. Reach with your left hand, reach to your right wrist, and just a little bit up and over to the left. Not so much where you kind of lose your stability, but just enough to feel that length. And I'm going to turn this and twist your way here. Forearm on your knee, elbow to the outer knee. Any variation of the twist that's right for your body. Try not to relax your core, so use your core. Use your obliques to twist you on your exhales. Keep grounded through your front foot, seeking the midline with both legs. Feeling your breath. We're going to find our way out of this posture. Arms coming back up, and we're going to bring our hands to the inside edge of your left leg. And you can adjust. You can turn your left toes out a little bit if you want, or widen your stance, whatever feels good. Your hands can be on the ground. Your hands can be on blocks. Your elbows can come all the way to the ground or on blocks, so just go to the depth that feels right for your body today. Wide sit bones, deep compression in that front hip so that you can open into the hip flexor of your back leg. Remember to stay long in your spine and full of breath. Then go to the posture, walk your front foot back to a neutral place. Hands on blocks for a moment. And let's come back to a half Hanumasana. And then forward, placing your foot down, bending your knee. And then back one more time, half Hanumasana. Bring your hands up onto tall blocks so that you can come upright. If you know you tend to kind of stick your hip out, what can you do to drop that hip down? Of course, you can be on your feet instead of your knee if this is too much. Try taking 2 blocks, one underneath the other for some good stable place underneath your right hand, just to give you some extra height. Sometimes the height can make a big difference in the ability of your hip to drop and to find that balance. Find your breath, reach the arm, left arm up in the air, and let's twist open here. Descend the hip, still flexing the toes, pointing your foot straight so you're not turned out or in. How's your breathing? Drop the shoulder. Gaze your hand over to your hand if you can. Come back round, lift that arm all the way up in the air. Separate your 2 blocks, one underneath each hand. Lift your back knee up to a full lunge. Get your legs nice and grounded. Maybe have a moment to just stretch your calf. And then when you feel rooted, come up to crescent lunge. Arms coming high to the sky. Feel that sense of stability where your ribs are drawn in, that you're not pressing forward and compressing your back. You can experiment with straightening the back leg or bending the back leg a little bit. See what gives you the most sense of stability. Full breaths here. Okay. Let's cactus open the arms and feel that open heart, big chest. And then stretch your arms out to the sides. Drop your shoulders and twist. Drop the shoulders, hug to the midline with your inner thighs. Don't worry about how far you go into the twist. Feel the stability of your legs, the working of your core as you breathe. Perhaps your left arm is going to reach to the back of your right thigh. Maybe your hands on your hip. Reach that other arm, your right arm up. Find your breath here. And back to center. Neutral pose, hands down onto the ground, dog pose. All right, so feel your way into your breathing here, into the symmetrical posture. Let's come forward into a plank. Hold into that stable posture. Feel your core. Let's turn our navel to the right while we're here, chest facing the ground, face facing the ground. Back to center, go the other way. And back to center, come to the ground. You can put your knees down first if you'd like. Find your mirror. Let's take our arms to a W, or like cactus arms. But you don't have to have your elbows straight out from your shoulders, you can. But if you need to have your elbows a little lower toward your hips, that's fine too, okay? Press your legs into the ground, stabilize your pelvis, take a deep breath in and lift your upper body. Find your breath, find your strength. Take a few breaths while you're here. And then lower your body down. Pick up your feet. Have a little windshield wipering. And then we're going to repeat that. Feet on the ground, stabilize your pelvis. So that doesn't mean squeeze your butt cheeks really tight. It just means feel the work of your glutes, the stabilization of your pubic bone on the ground, your core. Like find all the places, not just squeezing your butt. Take a deep breath in. We're going to lift up. Try to lift your elbows and hands at the same plane instead of the hands tipping down. Draw the tips of your shoulder blades toward your pelvis. And then lower your body back down. Bring your arms straight out in front of you, thumbs up, palms are facing toward each other. Your arms can be shoulder width apart or wider. Find what feels good. And of course, if this isn't good for your shoulders, your arms can be down at your sides. We're gonna lift oppositional arm and leg. So right arm, left leg, lifting up, feel your core, but especially feel all those muscles along your back. And then release and let that go. Changing sides. Finding breath. Exhale and relax. Let's come up onto all fours and release your spine a little bit. You know, what does that mean to you? Do you like to wag your tail or circle? All right, I'm gonna come into a side plank for a moment. So right hand, left knee, and right foot on the ground. Now this is one way to do it. Of course, if you want a little more strenuous, then you can take 2 feet or really 1 foot and stack the other foot on top. So you choose the pathway. Of course, no matter what you're doing, if you want to also engage by lifting your leg up a little higher, you can. Just find your strength. Shoulder blades down the back, reach into space with that arm in the air. And then exhale and come to all fours. And we're going to switch to the other side. Left hand, left knee, right foot lined up. Shoulder blades down your back. You can choose to be on your foot instead of your knee. You can choose to lift your leg up in the air or keep it down, whatever feels good for you. Shoulder blades down the back. Feel the support of that shoulder. See if you can feel the hugging of your shoulder blade on the back. Full breaths here. And exhale. And bring your hand down onto the ground. And let's rest in child's pose for a moment. Just feel your body soften and fold. All right. So I'm going to take you through, at least on one side, I can't do it yet on the other side, but through to Wild Thing. Now this is a pose that's not available for everybody, depending on your shoulder strength and just how your body likes to be weight bearing. So if this is not a good pose for you, choose any back bend that feels good. It could be a bridge pose or a Dhanurasana or any posture that really serves you in that open-hearted way. If you're gonna follow with me, make sure your blocks are out of the way so you don't accidentally step on one. Okay. We're gonna come into dog pose. I'm gonna cue going to the right side first. So we're gonna lift the left leg up in the air. And think of those first twists we did on your belly and that sense of opening the hip. So let's lift the hip and open it up. Maybe you just stay here. This could be the fullness of your pose. But if you want to try the pose, tip backwards till your left foot reaches the ground and then look up at the sky and reach that left arm overhead. Rounding your right shoulder blade deep into the back. Find your breath. And then we'll come back round, turn, put your hand on the ground, lift your leg straight up in the air and place that foot down onto the ground. I can't weight bear that much on my arm yet, so I'll just cue you through the other side. Come into a 3-legged dog, right leg lifting high up in the air. Stack open your hip. This might be where you stay. This is where I'm going to stay. Okay. But if you can go a little further, tip back, bring that right foot all the way to the ground. Turn your torso up toward the sky. Reach your right arm overhead and feel that length. The left shoulder blade is firm on the back. Tip your head back if it feels comfy. And then come back around slowly as you flip back over, flip your dog. Feel into the length of dog pose, 2 feet onto the ground. Come to rest in child's pose. Just relax your body and breathe here for a moment. Let your back soften and open. We're gonna come onto your belly. Take your left knee high up toward your armpit. Just let your back soften into this. Keep your torso low. We're gonna find ourselves moving into a twist from here. So right arm is gonna cross over to the left side of your mat so you can roll open into a twist. Left arm reaching the ground. Let your your left knee leave the ground as much as you need to so your left hand can touch. Turn your head if it's comfy, and just enjoy this beautiful opening across your chest. Try not to overdo the spinal twist, so let your body turn as much as it needs. Okay, coming back round. Coming onto your belly. Let's change sides. We're gonna bring that other knee, right knee up toward your armpit. And just feel your body stay low. And then we'll take the twist. So left arm crosses to the right side of your mat and then roll open onto your back. Well, sort of onto your back, but toward your back. Back of your right hand will touch the ground. Let your knee leave the ground as much as you need. So roll toward your back as much as you need to, so your hand can be on the ground. Breathe into your chest. Only dole out enough twist to make the twist available to you, not to strain your back. Let's roll all the way to our back now. Readjust yourself on your mat. We're going to take our right knee into our chest. You can have your left leg bent or straight. And then we're going to reverse the pigeon or thigh over thigh like we did in the beginning. So either your right foot on your left knee or cross your right thigh over your left thigh. We're going to draw the left leg toward your chest. You can hold on wherever your body likes to hold. Remember to keep your head and shoulders relaxed and heavy. Breathe your way here. Put our feet onto the ground. Let's switch sides. Left foot on your right knee or left thigh over your right thigh. Draw your right leg toward your chest and hold on. Remember to keep your neck relaxed and neutral. Shoulders are soft. Melt the base of your skull and the entirety of the weight of your head. Feel your breath get fuller and deeper. And put our right foot onto the ground. Grab onto your left knee, give it a good hug. You can straighten your right leg or keep it bent. And then release your legs, starfish your body like we did in the beginning. Reach outward. Exhale, knees coming in, head lifting up. And put your head down and let's grab your feet and just find your way to a nice, gentle, happy baby. You can always hold behind your knees too if your back can't handle holding your feet. So just, find your way. A little rocking, a little stillness, whatever is good for your back. All right, grab your two blocks, put the soles of your feet together, and butterfly your knees out, Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to put the blocks underneath the outer knees. And just take a moment here.
Now here, I want you to decide whether you're up for sitting up and sending some energy, or whether you really feel like what you need is to receive. And do not judge yourself for whatever answer arises. If you always go with filling yourself before offering yourself to other. Our yoga practice is our opportunity to fill us. So if you come into this pose and you're like, oh, I'm a little depleted, I need some nourishment, then that's your practice for the next few minutes. It's to just be here and receive and breathe. And if you feel like you want to sit up to do a little offering of your energy, once again, do not battle within yourself about feeling guilty to receive. I don't know, I know many of us struggle with caring for self before others. So here's your opportunity to listen to your needs. And if you are going to sit up, then find a comfortable seat. Once you find a comfortable seat, we're not going to go through a traditional Tonglen. We're just going to offer some loving kindness. So as you sit here for a few minutes, first, get yourself in a place where you're able to offer, where your body's comfortable, you feel open, available, your breath can move easily, feel relaxed. Once you find that, let's first just put our mind's eye to where we want to send our energy. We could send it to a country, we could send it to a person, we could send it to an animal. We can send it to the earth in its entirety. So wherever, kind of hone your attention into what it is that you're focused on. There's so many ways to go about doing this. A simple way is to breathe in what you sense to be the need of this person, place, whatever. And then when you exhale, to offer something within you, a nugget of your own well-being, your own kindness, your compassion, your love. It could be have no words attached. It could just be a sensation, a vibration. It could be a very specific word, a very specific affirmation. So play with what this might feel like for you. Trust your intuition. And even if there are words in your mind that you're sending forth, try to not just be in your mind, be in your body. Feel the heart space that we've done all this work in our practice to cultivate a spaciousness and an awareness and openness here. Feel into the energy that lives in your heart center. And see if you can reach from there and offer from there, not just from the mind. And there may be other places that you're reaching from and offering from too. Your hands, your solar plexus, the crown, any of your chakras that feel open and available to offer. Coordinate with your breath. Your center of your focus, right where it needs to be. The sensation of offering loving kindness and compassion. Unifying the mind, the breath, the heart, maybe the hands, maybe other parts of you. Unifying your energy to offer.
Feel ready. You can choose to stay here, be here. You can choose to lie down and kind of just allow yourself to absorb your practice and rest in Shavasana. So whatever you're called to do. If you're coming to lie down, all normal things apply. Make sure you're warm, make sure you're comfortable, make sure you are at ease. Sense into the deep rest in your body. Even if you're still in your seated posture and offering yourself outward, feel the deep rest and ease in your body. Let this be a part of your offering. And if you are lying down, melt everything that you can access. Stay connected to your breathing. And deepen your breath. Maybe open your eyes. You are lying down. You can, well, you're sitting up or lying down. And just take a moment to give yourself some movements and stretch whatever feels good. You're on your back. Let's find our way onto our side. And then coming up to a seat. Let's bring our hands together at your heart. Recognize the power of intention and energy. Once again, offer what we can outward. Namaste. Thank you, everyone.